Good morning, and it is a stunning winter morning, absolutely glorious. I'm still on the pontoon at the moment. We've still got ice on the boat. The engine's been running for 20 minutes, but the sun hasn't quite caught up with it yet. Still a bit of ice on the cowling. I'm on an outgoing tide, so I need to get down the river while there's still water there. I'll do a time lapse going down the river because it's too beautiful not to, and then I'll stop at the bottom and sort the boat out and tell you about the plans for the day then. See you there. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little trip down the river. It is an absolutely stunning morning, and the estuary is fabulous. Not quite sure what will have been caught on the time lapse there, but there's loads of oyster catchers on the empty pontoon, so hope that it caught that. And I tried to show that we're just over half a moon. That may or may not come out, but that's telling you that we're not quite on neap tides, but pretty much on neaps. I've had quite a lot of new subscribers recently, so welcome to the channel if you're new to it, and thanks for subscribing. Just to explain for those new to the channel, I'm on a tidal mooring, so I've got about 3 hours either side of high water, and then outside of that the boat's sat on the mud. So on a single tide day I go out when the tide is rising, fish the high tide, and then come back as it drops, with enough time to get onto the pontoon before I'm on the mud again. On a day like today, a two tide day, I'm going out as the tide's dropping. I couldn't get out earlier today, I needed something, I had to do something else, so I'm out on the dropping tide, and in an hour there won't be any water at the top end of the estuary. So I'm out on a dropping tide. I'm going to fish the low water period, and then as the tide rises I'll go back in, so that gives me a longer fishing day. So the aim of today is ling, so I'll fish that on a wreck. I got bitten off by what I believe was a large ling about 6-8 weeks ago, so I'm going to try and get out to that wreck and fish it on slack water. So slack water as the tide goes out to the bottom of the tide, and then before the tide starts coming in again, there's a period of slack water, meaning if there's not too much wind, we're not drifting over the wreck, you can put a bait in it and hopefully catch a ling. We will see. When I get out there it won't be slack water, so it is neap tides, not ideal conditions for lure fishing, but I'll probably try a lure and maybe catch a bonus bass or a bonus pollock, something like that. That said, I'm looking at the horizon, and we're going to have to just sort of see how it goes really. There's been wind all week, It has been absolutely atrocious. If anybody knows the area, I drove across Torcross Line on Thursday, and the water was brown and really, really rough. And it's Saturday now, so that was only a couple of days ago. So I'll tackle up, we'll press on out there and see what we find. If we have to turn back and come back in the river, then so be it. But yeah, press on out there, and I'll bring you back then. Well, not happy at all. The sea set is nothing to worry about. There's a very long, quite large at times, 8-10 feet of swell from the northeast, hanging about excuse me, hanging about from the wind we've had in the week. So I've got here, I've come quite a long way out. And it's netted. Brilliant. Which does happen at neap tides on the wrecks, but I'm going to have to think of something else to do. It's so annoying, so annoying. I don't want this channel to be political. I know if I say something I'll get loads of comments about oh yeah, you know, commercial fishermen shouldn't be here and what have you. Yeah, they've got to earn a living, but there's been so many studies in the past that recreational angling is more important to the economy than the inshore fishing fleet. Yet you know, they net them, they net very close to the wrecks. It's gill nets, which I don't like anyway. They're indiscriminate, and then also sometimes because they net close to the wrecks, they lose their gear and we get tangled up on them. So anyway, I'm not going to get on my high horse about it. I'm going to have a look at the chart and find somewhere else to go. Travelled another 5 miles further than I wanted to, onto another wreck. I've not fished this wreck before, but the person I got the numbers from a while ago said that it holds large pollock, so might be a little bit of a change of plan. So I'll have a drift over with a lure. I've got a Sidewinder holographic sand eel on here. See what the tide's doing for the first drift really, and make our minds up from there. I don't know if this one would hold ling, it might do. We'll see what happens for the tide. I'm putting a lure down, although neap tides is not the time for lure fishing really. So yeah, it's just a case of giving it a go and making the best of it. The tide is fairly slack actually, so might be worth trying with a bait. Pop this one down for a drift over first and see. Yeah, the net fishermen, I really don't like them at all. Like I said, they're indiscriminate with gill nets. That wreck has been very healthy for bass, and it's coming up to little knock there, and it's coming up to breeding season for the bass as well. Well, you know, recreational anglers go on it and take two. He'll net very close to it, could decimate that shoal, and that's the shoal gone, and the breeding for next season as well. Anyway, enough of that, on to the fishing. It's quite warm out here. It was -3 driving in, but now the sun's out, calm wind, no wind. It's lovely. I'll be able to bin the jacket in a minute. Mr. Gannet having a look. Yeah, we're drifting at 0.3, 0.4 of a knot, so yeah, I'll give up on the lures for a minute. I'll give up on the lures for a minute. I'll have a little pass with the mackerel feathers, see if I can pick up any fresh bait. I have got frozen, but fresh would be nice. Yeah, a little drop with the feathers, and then see if we can put a bait in the bottom, see what it's about. Right, just some mackerel feathers tipped with a little bit of squid. See if we can tempt anything from the deep. Yeah, 70 metres of water, rising to about 65 on the wreck, so a fairly large wreck, and drifting at 0.3 of a knot. Beautiful day. Those swells are deceptive. Some of them are quite large, and like I said, with the sun on them, it looked like there was white water out to sea, which was my little bit of concern at the start of the day, but it's not that at all. It's just the low sun and reflecting off those long swells. Here we are on the bottom, and we've got fish. Good sign for a new wreck. Thought that was feeling heavy. Oh, one dropped off. Really chunky pouting. Size of that. But it will fill it off nicely for the bait. And what have you got? And another smaller of the same. Where are we? Always tangle everything up. If we can do that again, that'll be enough bait. There it is. Nope. Oh, nope, thought it'd come off, but it hasn't. Both ends of the spectrum there, one that's nice whole and a bigger one there that'll fill it off. That'll do me for bait. Let's change rigs and fish on the bottom. So what we've got here on a very messy filleting table is a 2-hook wrecking rig. On the bottom hook I've got the small pout, flap it off, and on the top hook I've got a bit of a cocktail with a fillet of pout, so a couple of black lug, and I've also got a tea bag in there. So that is, I bought some tea bags off the internet that you can fill yourself. They're biodegradable, just made of paper. We normally get lobster for Christmas, so when I sorted those out, the guts of the lobster have gone in the tea bag. Nothing's wasted. If it does any good, that's a different kettle of fish, but we will see. Let's get around and reposition and drop those on the bottom. Apart from the fact that the boat's going to spin, it's going to be a pain for the camera. This is actually pretty perfect conditions for putting a bait on the bottom. The drift's just nice, 0.3, 0.4 of a knot. Hopefully not too snaggy, didn't feel anything with the mackerel feathers. If I was on the other wreck, I would have 100% definitely caught a ling. You can trust me on that, I'm a fisherman. See if there's anything on this one. Something's having a little chew, but it's not the ling that I want. It's getting bitten to death down there, but it's scavengers. Getting bitten all the way up there, 20 turns from the bottom, just to see if there's anything else about that might want bait. Well, that's off the wreck now. Other species will catch around the wreck, but the ling is only going to be on the wreck. So see what condition the bait's in, refresh that, and try again. No interest at all on the cocktail. Shredded. Give it a second go with some bait. on the bottom and nicely up the start of the wreck. It's a little bit tricky to fish because the pout are just absolutely ravaging the bait. I don't even know if I've hooked one here, but if I have, I'll just leave it on as a live bait. One dragged it into the wreck just then, which I got it out, but yeah, it is only pout. There's no weight there of anything, nothing significant. Yeah, we're off the wreck there, so I think we'll go around again and try frozen mackerel instead. Try the other side of the wreck and a frozen mackerel, see if that will do any good. So much for the lobster guts teabag experiment. That's not been touched. The bottom bait is getting absolutely shredded. The pout fillet that I had on, there was virtually nothing left of it from that last drift. Breeze is getting up a little bit from the south, that was forecast. Not very much. On the bottom and in the wreck. And getting bites. Same again. Still something there. No, it's gone. That was a bite that took it straight into the wreck. It went fairly solid. Had to give it some line and it's let go. Yes, well that's not pout, and we've got it out the wreck. Could this be what we're after? Lift that one in. That's the prize we're after. A beautiful ling. Got all the sharp teeth in there. I'll get this unhooked and come back. Well, that one's coming in at £17. So that is mission accomplished. But we'll go and see if there's another one there. Excellent. Right, let's try something similar. That's all it was, just a frozen mackerel. It still is a bit frozen thanks to the air temperature. Just cut off part way along so the guts can come out and be nice and juicy down there. It's a pleasant sport, fishing. Really pleased with that ling. Yeah, it's what we came for and we've achieved the aim. So yeah. Probably got, what time is it? Yeah, it depends on what happens with this breeze and see if this picks up or not. But we've certainly got another few drifts on the slacker water, and then hopefully the current will pick up and be able to switch to lures. Although, like I said earlier, it is neap tide, so that's not that favourable for it. Not complaining, we've achieved the objective. Got a fantastic table eating fish. Yeah, that'll fill it down lovely. Well, the boat that was netting the first wreck I went on to, probably a bit far away now, the Charisma of New Haven, has just pulled over to tell me he's just about to net this one. Brilliant. I just got snapped off there anyway, so I'll start heading in to a wreck that's between me and Salcombe and see if there are any pollock on it. Yeah, I'll head that way. Give this a go. I was passing this wreck on the way in, so yeah, big sidewinder sand eel holographic. I've just had that on this trace from where we started on the wreck further out. I'm not massively hopeful, I have to say. There's sort of too much tide for putting a bait on the bottom, and not quite enough for lure fishing. But we'll give it a go. I might have a drift over with some mackerel feathers as well. I wouldn't mind some scad or something like that for the freezer for bait. The commercial boats, they've got no more right to be fishing there than I have. Equally, I've got no more right than they have. But if they're going to put a net down, there's not a lot you can do really. Move on. Small of those done it, nothing large. Not too big anyway. Don't get too many here. That's got a better hold of it. Little whiting. Little whiting. That would have made nice bait on the way out, but anyway. He lives to fight another day. Let's go around again to see what else is there. Heading in soon. Another drift here. Try with the feathers. Then have a clean down and fillet that fish. Very much a bonus day this for December. Absolutely gorgeous. The weather forecast was a bit uncertain. The shipping forecast had everything from slight to rough on it. Yeah, quite a big area though, from Lyme Regis to Land's End, so you can have a bit of everything I suppose sometimes. Yeah, let's have a go with the mackerel feathers. I think conditions are just not right for lure fishing. It's always worth giving it a go. Right, give this a final drift I think, see if we can pick anything up with the feathers. Well, that's drifted right across the wreck with baited feathers and not a touch, so I'm going to take that as a signal to head in. We'll head in for a bit of fish filleting and boat cleaning, and I'll see you inshore. well, there we are, all done. The boat's all cleaned down, the fish are filleted, the sun is going, and it looks like the rain's arriving. So a fantastic day to get out in December and do that in the dry and, you know, relative warm, obviously dressed for it. And yeah, brilliant. A little bit frustrating about the netting, but it's one of those things. But I'll show you on my plotter here. I don't know if you can pick that up. I've done 35 miles today, and I've got another 4 to do up the estuary to get back home. So best part of 40 miles. So yeah, to not be able to fish the first wreck, and then what do we have, about an hour and a half on the second wreck before he came and decided to shoot nets there. But at the end of the day, we set out to catch ling, and we caught a fantastic fish, which will make brilliant eating. I've filleted that off, so there it is. We've got the 2 fillets, the 2 loins, and the 2 belly pieces. I'm not the best fileter in the world. They'll need a bit of trimming up when we get home, but that's all that's left. So I'll just pop the other side of the bar in a minute and deposit that back at sea, and no doubt the crabs will eat that. So yeah, set out to catch ling, caught ling. So all in all, a brilliant day despite a minor frustration. I very much doubt that there's going to be another video before the festive break. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for following throughout the year. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the kind messages that I get when I put a video up. I do read them all and try to reply to them all. So yeah, brilliant. Have a fantastic Christmas, and I'll see you in the new year. Cheers.